Good evening, everyone. So I just turned this on. I'm still trying to figure out the live system, and I thought that I published this earlier, but apparently I was running a little late with it. So we'll see if some more folks join. I imagine as it goes live, the announcement will go out, and hopefully some people will dial in. I saw that I did keep this, unfortunately, a private event in our system. That's how I can upload a video and have it just for me. I did see that this was a private event up until about 20 minutes ago. So unfortunately, you all weren't able to see it to come in earlier, but still wanted to have a chat now that I've figured out streaming a little bit. So thank you for everybody that tried to join on, when was it, Sunday? That I did my debarkation, or embarkation, I should say, on the Virgin Scarlet Lady. And I had huge technology issues. I could not for the life of me figure out why my camera wasn't working. I think it's because I was trying to be fancy beforehand and set up some other technology so I could stream to multiple platforms. And I've learned that, you know what? I don't need to be that advanced. I can keep it simple and still enjoy it. So I'm going to keep, just streaming to one place. And so I was able to uninstall that software and get it working. So hopefully we'll have a few more folks join us in the live this morning. So Tony, this is my first, actually technically second live that I've ever done. The ones on Sunday did not go very well. It was me talking with no video quality, and that's not why you all come on YouTube, is to see a conference call, basically, is what it wound up being. So luckily I've got it working this time, and I am glad to hear it. And so some other folks are coming into, I know one question I often get asked is, how I'm connecting to the internet, how I'm making this live stream come to you all, because we know internet on the ship can be spotty at times. So on this particular sailing, I'm on Virgin Voyages Scarlet Lady. The Wi-Fi here has been actually really good. It's been reliable. It's been stable. I don't think that it's strong enough, though, to do a good job of uploading the data that I need to bring this to life. So I've done some test runs on the speed that it's doing, and it's around 5 megabytes. You all know what I'm talking about. The test comes up as 5 megabytes per second, I think is what it is, which is actually pretty good compared to other cruises that I've been on. That's really reliable. The upload speed is where it was really going down on, but I have my trusty Inseego hotspot that I'm using now. And because I am in Mexico, we're at Costa Maya, luckily I am facing the island, so I'm getting a really good signal coming through. I did a test on it earlier, and it was getting like 80 megabits per second with an upload speed of about 20 megabits per second. So more than enough to be able to bring a live stream to you all, which is very exciting. The last time I did it, I was on the Starlink on Freedom of the Seas. So interestingly, this cruise, one reason I booked it, this is going to sound horrible. So yes, I'm on another cruise line right now, but the reason I booked this one is because it does end on Friday in Port Miami. So I'm literally just going to drag my suitcases from one end of Port Miami all the way to the other end of Port Miami and get on the Freedom of the Seas on Friday. So super excited to be back on Freedom. Even after being here on Virgin, it's got some great things. It's got some great offerings, but I still feel that this is a bit of a vacation for me. I know you all have heard me talk about that in the past. When I travel to other cruise ships other than Freedom of the Seas, I'm always anxious or excited to get back to the Freedom because that's my home ship. That's where I know the crew. I know a lot of the guests. I know how everything works there. There's just so many creature comforts that come with being on Freedom of the Seas that I don't have on the Virgin sailing. Though I will say, so far, the Virgin sailing has been fantastic. And so one thing that I want to research, and I might make a video on this, is how is Virgin considered a mass market cruise line, meaning they're going up against Royal Caribbean, MSC, Norwegian Cruise Line, or are they more of a premium cruise line going up against, Celebrity and Princess? I've not been on any of those other ones. I'm really looking forward to my Celebrity trip at the end of the year. But I get the feeling that it's probably more of a higher end product, premium product. And I think the pricing may reflect that a little bit. From what I paid to get on here, it felt a little steep for me for a 5-night cruise. But once I'm here, I can kind of see that, it's kind of shifting towards a premium product. And I see Cruising for One is jumping in saying premium as well. So I think that that's probably how it feels to me. Pricing seems to reflect that. But the first place that I noticed the biggest difference was on the food on Virgin. So embarkation day. So you all get on the ship on embarkation day. Think about what it is you're eating for lunch on embarkation day. You're going to Playmakers if they have one, or you're going over to the Windjammer. And if you think about what you're eating there, it's hamburgers, it's hot dogs, it's very quick things. I was walking around this ship and I found a place on their back deck called the Dock. And I was able to order grilled octopus, hanger steak, grilled shrimp, and a goat cheese salad, fried goat cheese salad for lunch on embarkation day, which totally blew my mind because I was again expecting, a buffet style service where they were just making something quick because it's a turnaround day and they're just moving forward with everything. But they had some really solid food for me to have at lunch here, and it was great. I could order as much as I wanted. So I really enjoyed that. And the food, I'll say that evening, I kind of lucked up. The restaurant that I wound up booking, it's called The Wake because it overlooks the wake at the back of the ship. And I just happened to book it on the first night. Not that I knew that this was going to be the best place, but I've got some pictures I'll have to post in a video. But my table was facing towards the water, towards the wake. And we have a late sail away on Scarlet Lady. So she does not leave until about 7 p.m. in the evening. So I was sailing out of Port of Miami at sunset, and I have this beautiful view directly to Port of Miami as we are pulling out or sailing away. It was wonderful. I almost wanted to book that restaurant every single night, but the food was spot on, extremely good. Definitely a step up from Royal Caribbean. And I think Royal Caribbean's food is very good. It's hit or miss depending on some of the ships, I will say, based on, who may be there, some turnover things that are happening. But the food here has so far been noticeably better. And again, that's one of the reasons I think it's probably a premium cruise line. So let me jump into the comment sections real quick and see what's going on with you all. Yes, Chris, thank you for trying to join on Sunday. Let's blame it on a Russian bot taking over those. I tried my best to get that to work, and I just had too fancy of technology going for my own good. So I simplified everything, and now I just click the go live button, and here we are. So this is working much, much better. And you also mentioned, with only 2 ships, they are a niche premier market. That's probably, they're going to try to grow faster. They're supposed to have a 3rd ship, if you'll remember, here at Virgin. But they pushed it off due to, I think, slower demand. And I will say that even this sailing is coming in at about 50% capacity, I think is the number that it's coming in at. So this ship feels empty, especially coming off of the June, July sailings on the Freedom of the Seas. This ship feels absolutely dead, which is one reason that I chose Virgin. And looking at the timetables, knowing the seasonality of, the kids on Royal Caribbean ships, if you are going on a cruise in the next 2 weeks, families are getting there before we go back to school trips in. This is the last hurrah that they can really take the entire family somewhere. And they are swamping the cruise lines, which is great. I'm glad that they are absolutely coming back. I just don't personally always care for a ship that is 25% full of kids. And I knew coming here to Virgin with their 18 plus that would absolutely not be the case here. And it's been a noticeable difference. I think that I'm certainly one who's been accustomed to not having or to having kids on the cruise ship. They honestly don't bother me that much at the end of the day. But now that I've come here, it's noticeable that the rowdiness isn't there. The running around is not there. It's a different level of sophistication, I guess is the best way to say it, coming on Virgin Voyages and not having the children, especially this time of year, knowing that they make up 900 to 1,000 people on a 4,000, 4,200 capacity ship. So it is much, much different. And Tote Takeover, I did have the brunch at Razzle Dazzle. So somebody told me early on, I think it was one of the people on the ship actually, that I needed to try out the brunch on Razzle Dazzle, and it was really good. The sheer fact that they serve brunch on here, sets a different tone, if you will. But I went. They have a lot of unique items, and they try to be very vegan, gluten-free friendly. And a lot of their food reflects that. I had some vegan waffles, I think they were, but the presentation was very well done. My favorite thing, though, is they served watermelon cut the long way. So you had the rind going on the outside of it. They put a little bit of a yogurt, some granola, and some fresh frozen fruit on top of it. Super simple, but very, very good. One thing I'll say here is this serving sizes or the portions are really good. It's not too much food, and you can tell that they do have a health conscious kind of way of going about things here, because the portions are the right sizes, and you feel like the servings or what they're offering are healthier. So if you're somebody that wants to come on a cruise and not try to gain, the 5 or 10 pounds, this is a good line to do that, because I feel like they would support a journey in trying to be healthier than some of the other cruise lines where the food is still good, but it's not as healthy as what we would find here. But their brunch was very good. I did not try the rainbow toast, but there's still a few days that are left. So the activities, hey, Tom, from North Carolina, same here. From Goldsboro, North Carolina, actually, and I was just there for July 4th visiting over at Morehead City and Atlantic Beach. Activities here are different. So it's a lot more limited. One thing that I've found to appreciate is that when I go into the app to see what's going on, I can actually digest the information because it's not scrolling for days without having to filter things out or go through all of it. They've still got some of the similar wellness, health education items like that. But again, there is a strong emphasis on health here. So they have a lot more classes. If you're a yogi and love yoga, you're going to find a lot more classes that you can attend for that. They've got more spin classes and just overall more gym options where they're doing boot camps, and they're really trying to make that part of their brand. From there, you're going to find that the shows that they do here, and even the activities, the trivia that they do, is all intentionally edgy, meaning they're not trying to push the boundary, I don't think, to it, but they're trying to appeal to a different audience. So I had an epiphany last night when I was sitting watching one of their shows, Sail Away in the Night, I believe is what it was called. But it was one where I was sitting there, and all of a sudden it just kind of dawned on me that, I've said for a lot of Royal Caribbean shows that they do, especially the headliners, when they bring in like Four Tops, or they're bringing in, musicians that are featuring songs from 50s, 60s, 70s, things that, just really don't resonate very much with me, that I'm not the target audience for what they're going for. And Royal Caribbean is marketing to a multi-generational platform. Coming here, the show last night was definitely edgy. It was a little on the sexual side, nothing over the top though. Definitely featured people, like men wearing women's clothes, things of that nature, that are more gender bending, if you will. But all of those things really appeal to somebody such as myself. I mean, I felt like, this is actually something that's probably targeting people like me and, more open-minded people that are coming on Virgin Caribbean. That would be not Virgin Caribbean. Listen to me, on Virgin Voyages, that are more open-minded to, seeing those kind of things going on stage and putting it front and center, which is really welcoming for me. I mean, I really enjoyed the show. It was very well done. It felt like a off-Broadway kind of show. And so it was a similar setup to what we're used to on Royal Caribbean, where they take songs that we do know, they mash them up. Here they had a live performer singing those in a different arrangement, but then the dancing that came in around it was almost a modern jazz, contemporary jazz style ballet. It was very, very well done, but very different still than what we're accustomed to on Royal Caribbean. The trivias are also, and I can't remember what kinds they are now, but they're also more edgier trivias, if you will. And they've got a few sex talks. Ones you could pay an additional $25 if you wanted how to learn to put role play into the bedroom. That was something that you could pay money for. Me personally, I was not getting ready to pay $25 for something like that, but it was an option that they offered. So or cruising for one. Virgin and Celebrity have the best food right now. Um, Princess is struggling with food. I've not heard that Princess is coming in poorly with food, but I have heard that I will absolutely love when I go on Celebrity. So I'm really looking forward to that experience. If it is a higher tier, higher end kind of experience like the Virgin ship is, I am really excited to hear that. A lot of people say I'll also gravitate towards less kids being on the ship. Celebrity is not a child-free ship, but just because of the demographics and the people that attract it, they don't cater to children, if you will. So I'm really looking forward to doing that. Sig Cruiser, if you do have any kind of food allergies, looks like you're excited about the gluten-free option. This ship actually strikes me as being probably one of the easier ones to manage with an allergy, because a lot of their recipes seem, I don't want to call them simple, but they are not a ton of ingredients that they're mixing in there that you'd have to really go through and make sure they're not having certain things in your dish that they're serving. So they do a good job of using, I feel like, high-end ingredients and not using too much of it where they all kind of meld together. So I think it would be a good cruise line for folks who have gluten intolerance or different kind of allergies that are going on. So how is the gym compared to Freedom of the Seas? So Freedom of the Seas certainly has the best gym in Royal Caribbean's fleet. All of the Freedom classes do, with the view of the water that they have there. The gyms here are very similar in the product offering to what they have. The views are going to be a little bit different though. So they've technically got like 3 different gyms. They're very small and kind of broken up, but they're on the outskirts of the pool. So you have 2 different options if you're going to be running on a treadmill. Number one, you can always look outside. It is on the edge of by the window, so you can look out into the actual water. Or if you go to the treadmill on the other side, you're going to be facing directly into the pool, and the people in the pool are going to be facing you. I personally don't like working out with an audience, but if you want to do that, you want to get in there and show off a little bit, you can certainly do that. That is one option. They then have a second room that's going to have your weights in it. So it does have dumbbells. It's got a Smith machine, and then it's got all the individual machines, like a tricep machine that you can use. You've got the biceps, legs, all that kind of stuff that are actual machines in one room. And then they've got a third room, which I'm sure a lot of people like. It's almost a CrossFit style room. So they've got, large scale medicine balls. They've got the ropes in there. So if you're used to doing boot camps, like a Barry's boot camp or a CrossFit style class, they're actually going to have stuff that's going to be very similar to what you're accustomed to when you come onto the Virgin sailing. So getting along with the cabin decor, it's interesting. I don't know how much you can see behind me. I don't mind the look of it. Functionality is a different component though. But when I'm looking at the rooms look really nice. One thing that you may see is my posture right now is not the best because I'm sitting on a stool. That is their desk chair, is a stool. There's another chair here directly beside of me that I'm using to prop up the laptop at the moment. But the decor's absolutely fine. It looks really good. I don't know if you can see, just some pet peeves of mine. The space in between the bed and the TV there. I cannot tell you how many times I have walked directly into that TV since I have been here. You cannot just walk through there, with your shoulders. You got to turn a little bit, or you need to be brushing up against the bed so that you don't crash into the TV. I have done that a few times. I am a clumsy person. I'm not always aware of my surroundings. But that is one pet peeve that certainly gets on my nerves a lot. The other is this desk here doesn't have that shelf above it. So you all know when I do my room tours that I'm always talking about the shelving and how I can put everything away. This desk, number one, it's pretty small because it angles back. You can kind of see that. So they want you to sit at an angle and face in. I'm working with a laptop and a portable monitor, so that doesn't necessarily work. So it feels extremely crowded. And my technology winds up going all over the place. And then you'll see over here in the bottom left-hand corner, they do have this massive square, I guess it's a dresser underneath there, which kind of seems like a huge waste of space. But that's where I'm storing my mixers and elixirs because there was nowhere else to put them unless I put them in the closet or the bathroom. The bathroom in this room, so I am in a Sea Terrace XL or extra large. And the bathroom on this ship is actually really nice. There is plenty of counter space in there, something that I am always a huge fan of. good storage to put everything. But then they separate out your toilet room and then where the shower is, so that you still have doors to both of those. Somebody can be at the sink and somebody can be using both of those rooms at the same time. And the water pressure in this shower and the temperature of it has been fantastic. I don't always enjoy a rain shower, which is what they have here. And they've got a wand that you can use as well. But the water temperature, as well as the pressure that's coming from that rain shower, has been fantastic. So that's probably been one of my favorite parts of this room, is the room that's out there. What do I think of the pool? Interestingly, so when I started, this call, I told everybody that, hey, this ship is like at 50% capacity. It might not even be that. I've heard anywhere between 30 and 50%. It feels absolutely dead. So yesterday was our first sea day, and I did go and hang out by the pool, and there was literally nobody on the second floor. This is like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 12:30, so prime time. And even downstairs, the pool was not overly crowded, if you will. There was definitely a lot of people in it. It is smaller. If you want to be in the pool, which interestingly, I don't actually use the pool that much. I don't know if you guys knew that or not, but I'm not a pool person per se. I think in all the cruises I've been on, I've probably been in the pool less than 15 total times. If there's some friends of mine that want to go in, fine, I'll jump in. But otherwise, it's not always for me. But, there was plenty of space inside. Most people wound up just hanging out and putting their feet in it because they do have that really shallow area where you've got some water that you can splash your feet in. A lot of people enjoyed, just sitting on the edge doing that. And the other end of the floor turned into like a day club. And so what I mean by that, think of a nightclub where you've got a DJ, you've got a bar, you got people dancing. We definitely have a DJ. So the music on Virgin has certainly been more my style of music. It is more contemporary. It's a lot more R&B, hip hop, more true present, like 2022 music. It's been a really good mix. I have yet to hear Sweet Caroline, so I am super excited by that, because you all know that if you go on cruises a lot, you are going to hear the exact same songs that are going to be requested over and over. That does not happen on this ship, or if you are, it's more songs that you're familiar with and used to. And so the pool area has this day club vibe to it, which is really, really neat. You've got the DJ up on the second floor, so I sat by him for a little while, but he played awesome music. The crowd loved it, and they were dancing, having a good time, enjoying their drinks. I really enjoyed the pool atmosphere, but you are right, it is smaller. If you wanted some peace and quiet, they have another circular pool, and I don't know if I think it's a hot tub. It's more just like a lounging pool, I think. But that is a quieter option. There's always plenty of space in there on this sailing. So if you are somebody who is still looking to not be in the crowds that we're seeing on the summer cruises with Royal Caribbean, definitely check out Virgin, because again, this one's at under 50% capacity. And that leads me to think that more of them probably are also going to be under 50% capacity, at least until the kids go back to school. Because I just think parents these days are doing trips with their families, and not necessarily coming on adults only and, sending the kids away for a babysitter for a week to come on a cruise. Tim coming in with Princess food, again, not being good. Princess is one that I want to get to, simply because I've got some good friends of mine who really enjoy going to Princess, but it never seems to really make my short list. I think some of it's because they probably do longer sailings. But the places I have considered Princess, they have some really unique cruises around the world. So if I'm looking at doing something outside of the Caribbean, that's traditionally where I look at other cruise lines. And I've considered that for Princess a few times. Hello, Houston, Mr. Oren. Tony, do I like the hammock? The hammock I do like. I have taken 1, maybe 2 naps out on the hammock so far. And originally, if you look at it, it's very folded up. And I sat down in it, and then I realized that I could actually extend it, and you can actually have your entire body in the hammock. For whatever reason, I thought it was just a chair style hammock where you just sit in it and you can swing back and forth. But if you're talented, you can, hook your feet into it, and you can push the netting out, and then it will, hug you like a cocoon would. So it's definitely, you sit directly inside of it, and it keeps you pretty snug. But that's where I sat yesterday and took a solid 20-minute nap in it probably. One thing I'll say that I noticed about the hammock, and I don't know if anybody else has taken Virgin has noticed this, but when the ship is rocking back and forth, and I'm looking out the hammock out the window here, when the ship is rocking back and forth and you're laying back, your head will actually hit the door. So it's a hammock. It's going to swing with what it's attached to. And so if it's a rougher seat area, you're rocking a little bit, you're going to swing. And when you do that, your head's going to hit the glass door. So not an ideal solution. So make sure you're trying to use it on calmer days or just using that sitting chair feature. So Virgin does not have their own private island there, Tom. They have just the Bimini Beach Club. So I know in the video that I said, I'm just so accustomed to saying everything's a private island because I feel like most cruise lines do have a private island these days. But it's my understanding that this is a resort-like experience in Bimini. So it's attached to the island of Bimini, but they don't have the entire island. It's going to be more of a Labadee feel in Haiti, if you will, where they have like a section where you can stay within them and you get the, I'll call it Virgin Voyages experience of Bimini. You don't actually get to see Bimini. So that's going to be where we're at. Sea Day tomorrow. I'll be there on Thursday before coming back into Port Miami on Friday. So I'm excited to see what that looks like. I still remember back when Coco Cay was more untouched. When they hadn't gone through, we were still tendering over there. And I used to love it. I mean, it's always been a beautiful spot to me. It was very relaxing. It was very quiet, which is one reason I like going on vacation is so that I can calm down and not do so much. And granted, I think Royal Caribbean has still done a fantastic job with where Coco Cay is today. But there's sometimes that I just wish that I could have more of that low-key experience. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what their island is going to look like when I am there on Thursday and see just how relaxing it is on a hopefully unspoiled kind of area. So I'm really looking forward to that. Less people on the pool, absolutely, Dominica. Dominique, that has made a huge difference. If this was a full ship, I walk around and you really don't see that many people at all. I should do like a video tour just to show you guys how much of a ghost town this place feels like. But I wish there was more people. I talk about, because I started cruising as soon as we could get back at it with Royal Caribbean. I was on the Adventure of the Seas out of Nassau from the North American start date. And we didn't have that many people. I think we had like 400 people on that sailing, which is also not enough people. And I kind of learned that I like a Goldilocks amount of people, if you will. So if there's too few people on a ship, I feel like there's no energy, that it's dead, it's lazy. It's very relaxing, but it doesn't have that buzz and excitement that you would find on a ship that has a lot more people on it. Versus if Freedom of the Seas is operating at full capacity with 1,000 kids on it, I mean, it is a bit of a show because people are showing up and they're everywhere and they're all going to the same place at the same time. So I think that also can be a little bit too much. I'm used to it at this point, quite frankly. But I think that that's a little bit too much. I really like seeing a ship come in probably between the 65 to 80% capacity range. That way, there's enough people that if you go to the nightclub in the evening, you're not the only one that's going to be there. If you're at trivia, you have a few teams that you can compete against. But it doesn't have so many people that it all of a sudden becomes a problem. Because I would tell you, there's a huge difference. When you add an extra 500 people to a cruise ship, it adds up very, very quickly. And so I think that that's something that I've kind of learned about myself is my Goldilocks period or phase is going to be between that 65 to 80% range. Above that, it starts getting cramped, especially when it's at max capacity on the cruise ships. Do I miss not wearing my tux and cummerbund, Chris? I've actually never worn a tuxedo on a cruise ship. And I think that I may have missed that or I started cruising too late for that. I've seen some people that have done it. But, on the 3 nights, we have, dress your best, if you will, or smart casual. And you're lucky if you're going to see even, a pair of suit pants that are there. Most people are going to be in jeans and shorts is the most that you get. So that's kind of what I'm accustomed to. I probably did not pack correctly for Virgin Voyages. And so I need to go through and make a list of things that I wish that I would have bought or I wish that I would have known to have bought. But apparently I didn't do my research well enough because on the first night they had a pajama party. So their back area turned into the nightclub, which was a really great place to have it. It was outdoors, lots of good dancing places. But you were supposed to wear your pajamas, and I'd say probably about 30% of the people did. So I didn't feel completely out of place, but I wish I would have done that. I also feel like I was supposed to bring something red to wear to what they call a Scarlet Night here, and so I'm interested to see what exactly that is. But I didn't wear any red. You guys know the colors that I wear. Blue. I wear blue, green, and purple from time to time. Red doesn't really come into my repertoire too much. I think I have one polo that might be red, and that's about it. Um, so, two things so far that I wish that I would have remembered to bring. So I need to work on that a little bit. Oh, Cruising Point. If you've not been to Coco Cay since the redo, it is completely different these days. You may recognize a few spots to it, but for the most part, it is a whole different island. And they put multi-million dollars into it to make that happen. Tony, have I met Griff and Alyssa? I sure have, actually. I didn't know that they were on board. This sailing, though. I met them, I believe they were on the Wonder inaugural sailing when I was on the Freedom of the Season. So I got to hang out with everyone at Coco Cay at the pool at the Oasis Lagoon. But if I see them, I will certainly tell them you said hello. I'll keep my eye open. It's tough to hide on this ship because, again, there are so few people here. Either people are in their room or they're at the event. So it's easy to find those folks. Hey there, the Z Show. Welcome to the channel. Mary Lucas, I have an orange tank top. I don't think I have a red one yet, but I'll have to look into that. And Tim, you're going to be back on August 22nd. I don't know if that's a weekend or not, but I may or may not be there then. So this one, luckily, and one reason why I booked the Virgin Scarlet Lady is that she comes back into Port Miami on a Friday. And so you all know what that means. It means I am taking my suitcase and I'm slumming it down to Terminal A. So the Virgin Terminal is actually Terminal V. So they got a little bit different for the folks that have been cruising for a while. You know that it is directly beside of the old tent terminal, Terminal G. I mean, instead of going with the next letter, they just went with Terminal V for Virgin Voyages, which makes a lot of sense. So I say that I'm going to walk. We'll see if I actually wind up walking it down there or not. It's farther than you think. So I know I've attempted to walk some of it in the past. And it's a long ways. And if it's hot, I may still wind up taking a taxi or an Uber just to get me back over to Terminal A. So we'll see how that goes. Oren, thank you for the sticker there, the star. Certainly appreciated. So that's my plan for Friday. Super excited to get back on to Freedom of the Seas. Even though being here's been a great experience, I've got a lot of friends of mine coming to the Freedom this weekend. So I'm excited to see a lot of members of the royal family, grab dinner, catch up. As you all know, I've missed some special moments over the past month since I have been off ships. And so I'm really excited to be back. Though now that I've seen what another cruise line looks like, I'm asking myself, do I want to keep taking other cruise lines? And, I don't know that I have a good answer to that just yet. I will say that so far I'm on day 3 here on Virgin, day 2, maybe day 2, day 3. Left on Sunday. I am now on Tuesday, so day 3. I'm actually really enjoying Virgin. I wish there was more people here, but this is a more sophisticated upscale environment, and I'm kind of digging it. I'm enjoying it. So it might be one of those things where when I see Royals prices, especially in the summer when there's tons of kids and kids sell free is going on, and their pricing strategy is already getting pretty high up there in the summer. I also don't get my 150% single supplement discount in the months of July and August. So it gives me even more reason why to kind of look around for those particular months. So am I going to be doing more cruise lines? I know I've got some more Celebrity coming up. I really look forward to doing Celebrity. They probably, in my mind, will be my go-to cruise line. But kind of now that I've seen Virgin, I would not mind coming back here at all either. It'll just have to depend on how the schedule is. So you all know that I am booked about a year out. And I think 2023 is almost fully booked at this point with some pretty big trips in there that I'm excited about. So I don't know how much opportunity I'll have to go on other cruise lines just yet, but it's certainly a possibility. Florida cruisers. They do not have a drink package on Virgin Voyages, something that I did not know. Luckily for me, in this particular case, I'm not an alcohol drinker, so I'm not taking huge advantage of that. I did talk to some fellas that I met earlier, and they were telling me what they do have, though, is a buy $300 or prepay $300 and get a $50 extra on top of that. So you can drink up to $350. So if you are going to be coming on Virgin and you know that you're going to make, good use of the bar establishment here, definitely look into how you can prepay for that. Then it's always just kind of guessing what you're going to spend. If you're ordering traditional drinks on Virgin Voyages, you're going to be looking at about $8 to $9 for beer, for, club soda, vodkas, things of that nature are all going to run about $8 to $9, I find. If you want to be fancy and you want to, you're looking at the menus and they have some wonderful sounding drinks on their menus here, you're looking more at the $13 to $15 price point for those more specialty cocktails, but that you would expect to find probably anywhere, and they sound really good. So go ahead and, order a few of those. I think that that would be a great way to go for it. They also don't have plastic water bottles here. So one thing, that I would have liked was water bottles, but they have this in the room, which I kind of like. I don't mind as far as a saving the planet's concerned. You all know that I was not a huge fan of the cans when they had my water in a can that tasted like metal to me, just not a fan. But this I actually don't mind. I find myself going to this water. It tastes absolutely fine. And I feel a little bit better than getting it out of the bathroom sink. So I think that it works pretty good for me. They refill it every day. But you can't just go somewhere and get a bottle of water. I tried getting a Pellegrino the other night, and it's only things that come out of the spigot, the gun, I guess is what you call it. They also don't have reusable cups or cups that you can trash. So everything's served in these hard plastic cups to go. This is my coffee cup from this morning. And I'm just hanging on to those because I haven't had a chance to have room service come into the room just yet. So on that note, room service on this ship does work a little bit differently. So they've got an electronic switch that you can tell them you want them to come or not, but they are only going to come once per day. And so you got to be a little strategic. You don't want to, have them come in one evening and then come the next morning. You want to try to pace it out a little bit, but they are really good about, if I see them in the hallway, they'll ask when do I want my room cleaned. And if I have a good sense of my schedule, I'll say, hey, would you mind coming back at 2:00? And they've been pretty good with that. So the room's been clean every day. I've got plenty of towels for just me, of course. But I'd say that I don't mind the room only being cleaned once a day. 2 a day is probably excessive. There are some days where I certainly do like having somebody come twice a day. But for the most part, I'm kind of fine with it being just once per day. There's a lot of hotels that I stay in when I'm on land that won't even come unless you request them. Especially with COVID, they saw it as a cost-cutting measure, or just call it whatever you will, reduction in environmental cleaning materials and all that great stuff. But they come by request, and some of them only come every 3 days. So it doesn't really bother me here at Virgin that they come once a day. I get to tell them about when that is. My room also has 2 different attendants versus just one. I don't know if that means that they cover a larger area, but I feel like they cover a longer period of time versus on a roller ship. You kind of got to get them between like 9 and noon, and then when they come back between 4 and 8:00. I feel like there's a lot more coverage in the hallway on the Virgin ship. Chris, have I ever done a ship within a ship cruise class? Outside of Oasis of the Seas class, or the Oasis class, I should say, with the coaster kitchen upstairs, you've got your Crown Loft suite. I'm losing my words here. So the Crown Loft suite is technically a ship within a ship. And so I have done that experience on Oasis classes. Once I've had that experience where I got to stay in there. When we did the 2-bedroom star class, that was not in that section. That was somewhere else. So I have done that. They do have the Rockstar quarters here, and they have their own private section for those suite guests, which I think I've only ever seen 2 people in there because there's not many people on this sailing. But I do see that. And, I have those moments of, oh, if this was Royal Caribbean, I could walk into this suite section because with Pinnacle status, you get the access to the suite lounge and the suite outside amenities as well. So I kind of do miss some of those special things, if you will, that I get because of my status on Royal Caribbean. But luckily, there's not been that many people on here, and I've wanted to really get away. There's always been somewhere that I could go that gets away, and I'm not part of the crowd without needing to go to that section. But their chairs did look a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more cushion on it by the pool. So I probably would have enjoyed that, but I didn't have access because Pinnacle status apparently does not transfer to Virgin Cruise Lines. Hey there, Lowell. Welcome to the channel. So Cruising for One's asking about the 150% single supplement. So this is an interesting one. So if you are a solo cruiser, and I know that a lot of folks that follow this channel are, because I'm a solo cruiser, so I totally get it. We're a little bit different. And then I just think a lot of people are just fascinated by solo cruising. Even if they haven't, they probably in the back of their mind wish that they could one of these days. But the 150% single supplement is a Crown and Anchor benefit that you get at 340 cruise nights. So if you want to call it Diamond Plus Plus, if you will. So it's not at the initial Diamond Plus tier. It's at the 340 night tier. So once you double Diamond Plus status, then you get this 150% off. So if you are paying for a stateroom and you're going by yourself, you still pay for 2 people traditionally. So you're always going to pay for double occupancy, whether you're only a solo traveler or not. Once you hit 340 cruise nights and you go by yourself, you're going to pay 150%, not the full 2 people. You're only going to pay for 1.5 people, which is still a huge discount at the end of the day. It's also one, if you can find single supplement discounts, they do them pretty infrequently. MSC is a great place to look at. So, I'm probably going to wind up looking there at some point because I think that that's fantastic. If you can get on a 7-night sailing at single supplement or without a single supplement, I mean, that is a huge game changer, and you can't find that in too many places. But that is a good perk of Royal Caribbean where they give you the 150%, because even the studio cabins I found oftentimes sell for more than an actual inside cabin. The pricing model does not make sense for that. Tim, definitely try Celebrity with Carnival and Princess. A lot of people dish on Carnival. I kind of want to try it just to see what the experience is like. I don't always, like hearing the feedback that people provide because I want to go and make up my own opinion. You all will notice in a lot of my videos, my style is not one that's very opinionated. At least I try not to be opinionated. I think I've made a few that were, but for the most part, I like to talk about the positives, the negatives, and then allow you to figure out if that's something that fits for your cruising lifestyle or what you want to experience when you are somewhere. And so I've heard a lot of people say that they don't like Carnival, but I'd be curious to go on one of them and see what their offering is. I don't think they're doing weekend cruises anymore. I think since COVID, I believe it was the Carnival Sky that was originally doing them out of Miami. It's no longer doing those weekend cruises. So I need to do a longer one, but it's something that, it's not high on my list, but it's still probably on my list. I wouldn't mind giving it just a quick try. I am leaving my bed in the sleeping position. Hey there, Scott. Oh, it's Scott. I know you. How are you, buddy? So I am leaving the bed in the sleeping position. Interestingly, I don't think anybody on the ship's actually told me that I can convert it into a couch. That has not been freely offered. It's my understanding that that takes a lot of effort from them to come in and do it. You also get room service once per day. So I don't know if that would count as my room service for the day if they come in and do that kind of turn down service and then do it. I probably will have them do it just one day just to see what it looks like. That way I would not be walking into the TV. So one thing that I told you guys, this space over here by the TV is quite narrow, and I keep walking into the TV. But if I move the bed out of the way, that would certainly solve that problem. So no, I haven't done that yet. Honestly, I haven't even really thought about it. The good news here, I was thinking about well, where would you take a nap? If I nap traditionally, I am going back into the bed. I'm getting under the covers. But here, I've really been enjoying the hammock that I've gotten the nap in. So I don't need the bed as much. And I don't need the bed as much. So I probably could have them do that. So Floridian Cruisers asking about the restaurants that I chose. So luckily, I did see this on their mobile app to start with. I went through and booked all of the specialty restaurants that I could, and I'm doing a different one just about every single night because they've all got a little bit different flair to them, it seems. So I've done two so far. I did Razzle Dazzle for both brunch and for dinner, and I did the Wake the first night. The Wake so far has been fantastic. I probably could eat there every single night and love everything that they have. But their specialty restaurants here are all included. So you don't have to pay anything extra to do that. But they have been fantastic. The restaurant experiences that I've had have been really good food. And one thing that I've appreciated is, and this again is probably because there's only like 50% of the population here, if not less, I think. The wait staff is generally taking their time. They're having conversations with you, and they are not running around like chickens with their heads cut off. One thing that increasingly is starting to annoy me is just how hard the crew members on Royal Caribbean are having to work to complete their job. They are running around all the time trying to make sure that we, the guest, are having this wonderful and amazing experience. And, you know, I don't know if that's low staffing, that they've got too many people on the ship. I don't know what's causing that. But they are running around, and I can be a little bit empathetic from time to time, or empathic, and take on some of that energy when people are running around, and you know, I can feel that they're going through a rough time. So I've really enjoyed the lower pace that the restaurants here have had to offer, and I'm certainly looking forward to trying the other ones. I went up to their Windjammer equivalent today, or it's not even really a buffet. It's more of a food hall where they do all have the same food every single day. But the options are actually pretty good there. I had for lunch today, I went to Prest, which is their sandwich shop, and I did a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and an avocado toast, both which were fantastic. So I really enjoyed those. Hey, Brett, thanks for the shout out. I would love to join this channel. So for all of you that are here, if you do want to hit the like button, that is always appreciated to all of us content creators. I mean, I don't know if you guys know that I do have a Facebook page as well as an Instagram account that I am also posting content on, and even a TikTok. So if that's an application you want on your phone, there is a TikTok account out there, all of them under the Weekend Cruiser, with different styles of content. YouTube is certainly the one that I enjoy the most, but if you do get a chance, check out some of the other ones just to make sure you're not missing anything that's out there. So Fraser, you're also asking, is this room, or no, it's Toe Tag is asking, is this room is more narrow? I think it's the same size as a balcony room in a Royal Caribbean ship. I don't feel like this section here is any more narrow, but what I think the difference is the TV is normally moved or it's off center. So there's nothing on the wall directly in front of the bed on Royal Caribbean ships. So you don't have that bumping into the TV experience that I keep running into. Hey, Dixon, if you want to travel solo with Royal Caribbean with 150% single supplement discount, you will still get the double points. If you are in a suite with that same offer, you will get the triple points at that point. So even if you come on with a completely comped cruise, so I know a lot of you go through the casino, if the casino or somebody else covers your cruise, as long as you are here and your Crown and Anchor number is attached, you are going to receive your Crown and Anchor point nights. So that is a great benefit. I know some other cruise lines have stopped doing that, but here you do still receive your full Crown and Anchor points. Oh, see, you just answered that if I keep looking down. So the food, Lolo Polo, is extremely good here. I have not ate outside on the balcony here. Their table is about this big. Like it's a teeny, I probably can turn this, but let me give you guys a quick tour of what the outside looks like. You get to see the setup. So there's my little table. You get two chairs, and then you got the hammock over here in the corner. Whoop, there we go. So it's not a lot of space out there. So it does feel like a smaller room, or excuse me, smaller balcony. The chairs don't look that comfortable. They're all metal, and that little table's not going to hold that much food. So I've not eaten on the table outside here. But they do, outside of their food court area, they do have a wonderful outdoor section. That's where I went today to eat. Is I sat outside. It's a beautiful section, great couches, lots of chairs and tables to sit at. Really enjoyed that. I can tell I'm starting to go hoarse. I've been talking too much. So Thomas, I have not been wearing my Pinnacle badge. It is over there in the bag still, but I have not been wearing that here. I'm actually, going to be going on Freedom this weekend, so I brought it with me. And special announcement for all of you. So I'm going to be hitting 1,400 Crown and Anchor points on this coming weekend cruise. So we're going to hopefully have a little bit of a celebration there. The loyalty ambassadors already reached out to me. I've got a lot of friends that are going to be on board to celebrate with me. So if you are on the August 5th sailing on Friday, let me know. I'd love to have a few of you come and see what that celebration looks like. It is always very low key. It is a weekend sailing, so we're not going to go over the top with it. But it's always nice to have a little bit of recognition as you do progress through the milestones. This next milestone for me being that 1,400 point milestone. So when I mentioned in the video on why I'm, venturing out a little bit these days, I am extremely well established in the Crown and Anchor Society at this point. And I don't think that they're going to take any offense if I take a cruise or two going somewhere else. So Carnival was also at one-time room service. That's good to know, Tim. So, I mean, honestly, we see that stuff kind of creep up. And if I see one cruise line doing it, I kind of think it might be not long before other ones see that. So that might be something we see come to Royal Caribbean as well. And I don't know if you all noticed this. I haven't made a video on it just yet, but they did increase the room service gratuity on Royal Caribbean, or the overall automatic gratuity, I should say. So that is going up to, I believe, $16 for your balcony and below. Suites and above is going up to $18.25 potentially per day. Don't hold me to those numbers, but it is going to be increasing starting at the end of, I think it actually may have already started at this point. But if you had pre-booked or prepaid, you don't have to worry about the increase. But if you're going on the cruise and you've not prepaid your gratuities, you will see the increase that is there. Something that was, honestly, I predicted that when we started seeing other people, Norwegian, go up. And I told you all, hey, this is how it works. We're going to see Royal Caribbean soon enough. They didn't do a huge splash on that for obvious reasons, but they did increase our automatic gratuities. Hey, Miranda, always glad to see you. Hope your channel is going well too these days. Did I get reservation at Gumby, the Korean location, Chris? I think that is probably the one that I did not get a reservation to, and I'll explain to you why. I believe the Korean here is one where you sit at communal tables and you eat with everybody else. And when I was booking this cruise or going through and making those reservations, I just didn't really want to be with anybody else. So everything that I have chosen to do on this ship so far has kind of been just me doing it because I've been away working for a solid month. This is kind of a do me cruise where I'm relaxing and not really having a lot of human engagement. And so I saw that the Korean barbecue was with other people in a communal style. And I just decided not to do that experience. So decided not to go that route, but I've heard great things. I may see if I can sneak in there if they do a lunch or something like that. But we will see. But I'll probably be going back to the Wake at this point because their food was absolutely stellar. Thomas, I have used the hammock here. I've taken about 2 different naps in it. It's a great place to go, veg out. I'll watch some TikTok or some YouTube on it. Not loud enough that I'm annoying my neighbors. You all know I'm sensitive to that. But it is a really comfortable hammock, I must say. Like it's well done. It's not what I thought. When I think of a hammock, I think of ones from my childhood where you flip out the back of them. That is not the case with this one. It actually feels very secure. It's easy to get in and to navigate. A blue sailor hat would have been fantastic. I did bring one, and I posted this on TikTok. All of my hats have Royal Caribbean on them, except for one that I found. And I didn't think that it would be very tactful to come onto a Virgin Voyages cruise and pack a Royal Caribbean hat. So I did not do that. So I do have one hat with me. A blue hat would be very nice, though. But we'll see how that goes. So boarding process. Hey there, Matt with Cruises, Rooms, and Reviews. The boarding process, I couldn't really figure it out. So I couldn't get their app check-in process to work. So I don't feel like I had all the information to know what was happening. I just wound up seeing somewhere that everybody joins at 2 o'clock, or they prefer us to show up at 2 o'clock. And so I showed up at 2 o'clock. And when I got there, I saw that they did have some queues outside of the terminal for 1:30, 1:45, 1:50. But there was nobody there when I got there. I walked straight in. They have a similar setup to the Royal Caribbean Terminal A, where you're going to go through. They have the desk where you just kind of wait up. They check you in. That's where they give you your little band here. So one thing that I've kind of missed is my room key, because my room key goes in the back of my phone on my next cruise slot. But they don't have a room key. They've given me this thing, which I've already left in my room once. And you can see that I'm not wearing it now. But you do wrap this around. Luckily, they helped me get this on my wrist when I was checking in. But it was a very easy process. He asked for passport, pulled it up, gave me my band, and then I continued on to the cruise line. One thing that I found interesting about their embarkation process, or when we were going through it, they actually were selling upgrades to staterooms on site. So they had a sign that said upgrades available, and they had these people in the corner that were selling upgrades. So if you showed up and you were in an interior room and you wanted to see if something else was available, you could do that on the spot, which I thought was really, really neat, versus the Royal Up program, which may play better to the algorithm strengths that Royal Caribbean has because how long they've been doing this and how many rooms they have. But I found it really interesting. You could do a last minute upgrade as you were boarding to change your room if you wanted to on Virgin Voyages. I don't know if that was a discount that they were offering, if they were at reduced rates, or how they did that. I have to assume that it would be. But otherwise, I found the boarding process extremely straightforward. Nobody took my picture on the gangway. They didn't have a camera crew. And now that I think about it, I don't think I've seen a single camera person walking the ship taking pictures. That's interesting. It's interesting the things that you notice when you go on a different cruise line. I'm like, wait, there's not a photography team on this ship, or at least not one that I found quite yet. A Kaiser, thank you so much. Florida Cruisers, here you go again. Not this November. I'm fully booked for November. That's going to be a busy month for me to try a different cruise line. This ship, Thomas, is coming in. I've heard anywhere between 30 and 50%. It feels like it's at 10% to me. It is very, very empty, which I do not mind. And if you like the phone case level, make sure you swing by next cruise. They're wonderful people there. I always make good friends with them. They probably will be glad to give you one, especially if you book a cruise with them. All right, everybody. So my voice is going on me. We've been going for about an hour now. So as much as I'd love to keep going, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you for coming to my second YouTube live. Now that I figured out technology, and thank you for everybody who tuned in on Sunday to see if we could get that to work. But really looking forward to making some great videos, kind of recapping everything we just talked about and giving you more details about Virgin Voyages. If you are looking for an experience away from Royal Caribbean, or if you're not a loyalist like I have been, there's a lot of great reasons so far that I can find to try out Virgin Voyages, and I'm looking forward to sharing the pros and the cons with all of you. So thanks again for swinging by my YouTube live. This has been fun. I hope I get to do more of these in the future, and we'll talk soon, everyone. Thanks now.